All right, so let's talk about this legal process. I'm joined now by Misty Marris, legal analyst and trial attorney. Misty, I said, you know what? I want to talk to Misty about this because I know she's going to be able to break everything down here. So first, let's talk about what we know, because there's still so much that we don't. Are you surprised not only by the fact that the officer's body cam wasn't initially turned on, because it was later during the actual arrest, but also by the seemingly continued focus on that by officials during this press conference? What was your overall assessment of what we just heard?
Yeah, this was quite a situation, and obviously one that everyone's eyes are on when you're dealing with Scotty Scheffler, the #1 golfer in the world. So here's why we see so much focus on this. So the body-worn camera, of course, has been a central issue nationwide about how police officers can have transparency in their acts. But not only, Nicole, does it relate to everyone being able to see exactly how a police officer is engaging with the public in any given encounter, it also serves as potential evidence and justification for an arrest in those charges. So the fact that the body-worn camera was not on during these critical moments not only violates policy, but also could potentially be a roadblock for this case moving beyond the arrest stage. So my guess is that the police department, knowing that the failure to have the body-worn camera on in violation of policy was going to be a central issue, brought it out there right at the forefront and is getting it out there in the public sphere immediately so that the next steps can be taken.
So Misty, I want to talk strategy a bit here, because we just saw this press conference. I mean, it concluded really maybe about 10 minutes ago, but yet they have not yet posted this video. What is the point of coming out saying something? Why not have the video right then?
Yeah, I'm wondering what the PR strategy, so that's much more a public relations type issue than it is a legal issue. So I'm wondering, and I think we're all waiting with bated breath to actually see these videos. Are the videos consistent or inconsistent with the account of the officer as we saw in the police report? You know, there's a pretty serious allegation of the officer being essentially attached to the car and dragged by the car, resulting in injury. Well, what does the video show? And I think that the first step was for the police department to come out and say, well, this has triggered an internal investigation regarding this encounter, the failure to wear the body-worn camera. And Nicole, perhaps they're teeing it up for there to be some inconsistencies in what's in the report and what we'll actually see on the video. That, to me, could be why we see this parsed out between two different, between a press conference and then the video coming later.
And this is an obvious question here, but one that I have to ask. I mean, how much do you think who Scheffler is, as well as his prominence, is factoring into all of this?
It's definitely factoring into the level of communication regarding this incident that we're seeing. If this was just a patron, we probably wouldn't see such intense coverage, or we wouldn't have all the eyeballs on this situation. But when it comes down to whether or not Scotty Scheffler should be charged, or whether or not prosecutors in their prosecutorial discretion, and Nicole, this is a big component of it. We know the arraignment's coming up. He was arrested. These are the charges that we see. Prosecutors ultimately make the decision about whether or not to reduce them and or move forward with actually bringing this case into the courtroom. But I think that we're seeing a lot of it because Scotty Scheffler, but the fact that it's Scotty Scheffler really should not factor into whether or not charges are actually brought and whether or not it's prosecuted. That should be treated everyone the same.
Right.
But we're certainly seeing a lot more scrutiny on the situation than we would if this was just someone that was maybe a patron as opposed to a golfer.
Right, exactly. I doubt that there, would even be a press conference. My last question for you, Misty, what do you think this means going forward? Do you think these charges stick? Because I think that's what everyone wants to know.
Well, this is a felony. It's a very, very serious felony, and it's an assault on a police officer. So that gives the opportunity, if this case were to go forward, for that to be enhanced as far as the severity of that charge. So, look, it seems like the police department, this is reading between the lines, without having any insider information, is teeing this up perhaps to have reduced charges. And one of the reason being, there is no body-worn cam to support the police officer's account of the incident or to really show what happened during the critical moments. And also, again, the prosecutors could determine, especially if there was no intent. We heard Scotty Scheffler say this was a really chaotic situation. It was dark. It was raining. There was this fatality. I didn't know about it at the time. To the extent that there is no intent and no factor with respect to that could show Scotty Scheffler acted with the requisite intent required, we could see at least a reduction in charges to the misdemeanors, or potentially prosecutors saying this was a giant misunderstanding and we don't think it's worthy of actually moving forward in the legal process from the perspective of can it be proved beyond a reasonable doubt.
All right. I knew Misty would help us understand this a little bit better. We'll see what ultimately happens in this case, Misty Marris.
Can't wait to see the video.
Exactly.
That's
Hopefully
the story.
that'll come out soon here. Misty, thanks.